I would like to explain this slide, which was first presented by Mr. Tim Truesdale, the Assistant Superintendent at J.S. Morton 201 in Berwyn, at a PTO meeting on February 24, 2014. At this meeting, Mr. Truesdale was trying to explain how the new grading system with the equal integer grading scale and the weighted buckets contributed to a student's overall grade in a math class. In this case, you can see that there are 5 different buckets or skill categories that contribute to a student's overall grade along with the final exam. In this case, the student ended up with a 3.8 or a B average. Let's see how that works. In this case, the student had a 3.8 average in the first bucket, which is expressions, equations, and inequalities. That student had a B. 16% of that grade contributes 0.61 points to the overall grade of a 3.8 in the class. The second bucket, in this case, was Introduction to Functions. The student got an A grade. Again, it's worth 16% of the overall grade, which contributes 0.66 to the overall grade. What Mr. Truesdale failed to explain that night is that any combination, a student does not need 3.8 to pass. A student only needs a total points of 1.0. So any of these grades here that add up to 1.0 would mean a passing grade. So let's look at some possibilities. If this student had decided after the second category of Introduction to Functions, had decided that he didn't want to do any more work, the rest of the semester doesn't matter, because if you add 0.61 and 0.66, you get 1.27. That is a passing grade. That's just one possibility. Another possibility includes that a student doesn't do anything all the way up until just before the final exam. So let's say the student doesn't do anything for the first 4 months of class. During the last part, they don't even need a 0.53. All they need is a 0.2 during the very last bucket and an A on the final, and that student would pass with a 1.0. As a parent, I find that shocking, that a student could be allowed to opt out of most of the categories, most of the standards in a class, and still be awarded a passing grade. I don't think this is consistent with what the district is saying that their goal is supposed to be, which is to encourage students to master standards and to demonstrate that they have done so. In this case, the equal interval rating scale, the 1 through 5, and the percent categories, weights, contribute to a student being able to game the system. They can get through an entire semester without knowing the majority of the content and still manage to pass. That is unacceptable. This needs to go.